Even when I was walking home tonight, you can feel and see how alive the city is, because the city is really not a place. It's kind of a living organism all within itself. It's kind of like those people that create art out of trash or scrap metal or whatever. You know, you take something that's awful and disgusting and horrible and you turn it into something that's strong and powerful and beautiful.
I've worked here for about 3 years now. I process all the black and white film, most of the color film. I look over 2 digital processors and print color photographs all day.
Oh, shit. That sucks.
I go through stages where I really, really, really hate my job. But then I go through stages where I'm looking for another job and nothing else seems to look good. I can always go back to school, figure out what I really want to do, because obviously photography was not it.
I want to help people in whatever way that I can. I've been in school for 9 months. I'm becoming a marriage and family therapist. I just really think that people are important. Looking at and watching people and seeing how people are and then using that to help them in some way. I want to be a part of that. And if I can't be a part of that, I want to be a part of some other way to change the world.
This is my area. That's usually my drum storage area, but right now they're out in the van. This is our kitchen. We have, I don't know what that stuff is because I'm not a drinker, but that stuff, we have our mock rip-off of the Foreman grill. And pay no attention to the garbage because we haven't taken it out yet. Yeah, right. Only ingredient I have is a stove. So it's usually something colder that I can microwave. Yeah, that's just the general area. Laundry room / bathroom. This is our guest bathroom. We only allow number 1 in there. There would be no number 2 because, you know, it emanates throughout the rest of the apartment.
I don't really do anything all day long, not gonna lie. I file tickets, take people's appeals for tickets, deal with the plethora of dum-dums who insist upon paying for parking when they don't have to pay. If you're here to park, just go through the gate. I work Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. I go to school during the day, so my day starts at like 9 in the morning or so and ends at 7. There aren't any rewards. That's not goddamn right, but who cares? It's enough to buy a 6-pack and a candy bar every hour. So, like, I'll be a student worker probably until I'm 85, then I'll retire. I met Genevieve while I was working at Tower Records.
I just looked over and there was this jackass dancing in the aisle, putting CDs back in the bin.
She was kind of one of those people that like I was really afraid of. Like when I first met her, like I totally had this feeling like she just might cut my nuts off, but I wasn't really sure.
I remember thinking to myself, like, there's no way I'm talking to this guy. And then I talked to him.
Found out that she was in a band, that she did play guitar, and that, you know, at the time I was trying to start a new band because I had just gotten out of the Navy and shit.
And he called me like a month or 2 later and asked if I was interested in like just getting together and see if we can make something happen.
I was doing sound at Loyola University, an open mic. Ed gets up on stage, and he just starts playing. And he was just really natural with the crowd. Like, he was just kind of like, he would fuck up and like stop a song and then restart it from the beginning and just be like, and the crowd would be into it.
I think Ed's an amazing bass player, and that's what he was meant to do.
I called him up one day and he was like, so do you want to play bass in my band? Because I can't do both at the same time.
I want me, Genevieve, and you to start something, and we're going to call it the fucking Gotards, and we're going to play fucking hardcore punk rock, and fuck it.
And I was like, okay, sounds good to me.
Ed puts an ad in looking for another drummer, and we come across Jake.
I was in school one day and got bored, so I was looking through some of the classifieds for people wanting musicians. And I came across Ed's email address.
We had a show 5 days later, and it was great, even though we were horrible, and it's just kept going.
We're gonna fucking play, bitches!
Music is the purest form of communication.
The punk community makes you feel a part of something.
Yeah, you're beating the crap out of each other in the mosh pit, but once the song's over, you're all shaking hands.
It's angry. It says so much more than everything else.
Believe in something strong enough to stand up for it and strong enough to bleed for it.
Matchbox fucking 20.
I'm gonna run through the halls of my high school. I'm gonna scream at the top of my lungs.
About a year. Come on, stink rat. Come on out. Come on out. Come on out today. Will you get hopes of Jesus?
This is the stink rat.
Aren't you a stink rat? Yes, you smell bad. I mean, you're taking an animal that, you know, likes to smell bad, and you're giving them a bath. Of course he's not gonna like it. Oh, fucking roaches. Die, bitches. Die. Yeah, bitch. Oh yeah? You didn't tell me that. I was right the first time.
Jason is a very vocal person.
Jason can be a little bossy.
Like you missed the first beat on the hi-hat and then you came back in. Because there were a couple times when you were coming off the roll, I was like, and then like the cymbal was just like, king.
But his weakness is probably sometimes he doesn't know exactly when to shut up.
Jake sometimes upsets me with how snide he can be.
He's can be rather loud sometimes, but you know, once you get alcohol in him and get him in a bar, he's fine dancing. And
I wish Jake would be more vocal about, I think he has a lot of ideas and stuff that could work in the band, and I don't think he is vocal a lot about them.
No. Just note and beat it all there. Just keep the pacing on the hi-hat, like, and then Big Phil, boom, come in with Genevieve.
I just kind of gave up on trying to, change a certain part of the song that I personally didn't like because it'd get vetoed by, a certain person.
Even though he'll never just outright come and say, like, that he, to a certain extent, looks up to me.
I think he's very thick-headed.
When Jake's really saying fuck you, what he really means is like, dude, I think you're the greatest. It's kind of like the funniest thing.
After a while, once we started playing live shows out of state and stuff, all that time in the car together really helped us become good friends. These guys are they're like my brothers, and I hope we'll always be friends no matter what happens to the band. The first time Jason told me he was sick, I hate to say it, but I really, didn't believe it.
I was diagnosed with cancer, which was fucking awful to say the least. About every fucking 3 years or so, it just goes to shit. Everything just fucking, I don't know, it always seems like whenever I seem to be able to get my shit together enough that I'm happy with where I am in life and satisfied and kind of everything seems to be going right. And then it's just one disaster after another and it just falls apart. Life is not without a great sense of humor, if nothing else. Human nature is just, I don't know, the whole thing is, life in general is an amazing joke. I guess I just want to leave my mark,
Well, what do you want us to do? We're all in this together. Would you want us to continue with you not in it?
But we weren't giving up ever. We were always together, keeping that connectedness.
He'd be a really great friend, and he's telling me that, he doesn't have, so much time.
The struggle is not easy, and the solution is not easy. You need to take a step back.
all honesty, I know I don't get a break. I don't think any of the other people in the band really get a break from life. I mean, if we were just doing the band and that was all we ever had to worry about, and nothing was happening, then yeah, truly nothing would ever be happening.
We're kind of at an interesting point in the band because at this point we have enough time right now to pause and look at things. We can at this point really kind of mold and change things however we see fit. We have even more time to take a step back, and time is always a wonderful thing if you've got extra of it.
Basically, right now, we're looking for a drummer, and it's really hard because it seems every drummer in Chicago is already in a band or just sucks my ass. As we're looking for a drummer, we're also just kind of playing around with a few other ideas.
Smoke the black when I need my space. Smoke the back for the taste. You can see it on my face that it smells so great. Don't give a damn. If it's late, right at a G, break my deep out skate. Puts me back up in shape, feeling like an 8-man. It gives me hair brushes.
I don't know if that's gonna fly.
When you don't know if within the next 30 seconds or so you could pass away, you get to appreciate life and everything about it just that much more. You get to see things and hear things and feel things that a lot of people won't ever get to feel or see or hear, because when you don't know, you don't have time to take anything for granted. I'm not gonna fret the small stuff. I have full faith that this band's gonna make something out of ourselves. I went to Rush Presbyterian. It's a great hospital. It's like having your own private dorm room. You even got VCR in your room. It's fantastic. And they were really good to me. They did all the tests that they needed to do. They found out that indeed, in fact, I was not going to die anytime soon. That while I still had occlusions in my brain and one that had decided to grow in my sinus cavity, that my death was not imminent. It's hard to get the energy up that I used to have. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than convulsing randomly on the floor and foaming from your mouth like a rabid dog. It all seems to work out in the end for some reason. So, I mean, I feel, like I said, it's a lot better. I mean, there's always the possibility that I'll get sick further down the line in the future, but when that happens, hopefully I'll be sitting in my hot tub drinking PBR and won't care that much. So,
I've always known that things work that way. Like, you go downhill for a really long period of time, and then all of a sudden things just start happening. it's hard to see it that way when you're in that moment. It's really hard to see it that way. But once things start getting better, I just try to soak it all in so that next time I'll be prepared for it.